Here we are at Chief Hall Podcast with the holidays looming. And what better gift could we have than to have a special guest in the building?
That's right.
And we'll get to that. But, you know, Ray comes from a different side of everything because he's from New Orleans. But we don't hold that against him. But we have befriended him well enough, so he's with us. So he'll have a different perspective.
Not just like last year.
30 years. 30 years we've been.
More, yeah.
But this guest, to give you an insight on this guest that we have today, we're band guys. I played trombone, and my mom wouldn't let me play football. And I tell that story to Coach Frazier when I came out there and asked him, could I play quarterback? But we come from a different perspective, but just to show how the rippling effect of his leadership and his morals, the way he carried himself, and the way he positioned those our counterparts, it just shows that the effectiveness. They always say you never know the effects of the ripples once you throw the rock in the water, because they are far-reaching. And we were under the direction of Mr. Neal, but we always was paying attention to this special guest. And without any further ado, we want to introduce Coach Frazier, Coach Walt Frazier, to our program. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing fine.
And we're so glad that you're here, and we've been working on this for a while. And I got a special message from Miss Carmen Jackson. She was at the Classic, okay. And her exact words was, "Tell Coach I love him." So I wanted to tell you that she was at our tailgate. I tailgate at the Classic.
Okay.
And she was there, her and her husband.
Okay.
And so she told me to tell you that. They told me some other stories. We'll talk about that later.
We should have put legendary in front of it too.
Yes, that's the title of the show. You remember that? Yeah. Legendary Chief is the title of the show. So, Coach Frazier, we'll get into it. I don't want to keep it too long, but we want to talk some football, of course. And we want to talk some of the early days because you connected with my mom as well. My mom was a student, was with Bobby,
okay,
and Mr. White. My mom and Mr. White are real close,
all right.
But she passed away. But the Bethune days. Now I couldn't find where you played high school ball at. It's nowhere. So, and I forgot to ask your daughter, but I couldn't find that. But where did you play high school football?
Played high school football at Leonard Brown High School in Wauchula, Florida.
Wauchula, Florida. That's where you played. Okay, that was a gym because it's nowhere. I couldn't find it on the internet where you played high school football. So I had to get that from you. Okay, so then now you always played offensive line, even in high school?
Well, we were a small school. We was only in existence 6 years because it was the black kids was sent to Arcadia and Sebring. And they built the high school 6 years in 1960.
Oh.
It was started going to the white high school in 67.
Okay, so that's when they started.
Right.
All right. So when they was playing football and doing that, so offensive line always was something interesting to your offense. I say offense.
Well, it was about 30 kids on our team, and I played basically 48 minutes.
Oh, okay. You played
offense and defense.
Okay, back then. Yeah.
Linebacker and center.
Oh, okay. So you had that perspective. Do you think that helped with the way you coached to be on both sides early?
Well, it helps with an understanding. If you understand one side of the ball, it helps you when you're on the other side of the ball to understand some of the principles of the plays and the attack points.
Okay. So we get to high school, then Bethune-Cookman College. Now, my mom was the first class of Northwestern, 56.
Okay.
Graduated out of Northwestern. So she went to Cookman in 56, 57. So she was diehard. You know, most of them folks, most of them Cookman, them alums, They got that pride like no other. Now we FAMU guys, but I saw that pride from my mom and all of the connections she had with the people. Because I used to be out there on the campus when I was young. I used to go with my sister. So I was up there on Cookman's campus in the early 80s, like 79, 80. So I would be there up there for the summers with my sister. So I saw that. So when you transitioned into Cookman, you had a lot of options. But I know most people went there. Most of the teachers came out of Bethune-Cookman during those times, and all the jobs were here. Right. So you went into Cookman wanting to teach, or what was your idea as a career?
Well, I wanted to be a professional football player like most young boys. And after I realized how cold it got from looking at a Green Bay Packer game, I said, no, I can't handle that cold weather.
Yeah, that cold weather.
But it was something that you look forward to, coaching as the second choice.
I see.
And basically I wanted to coach because that was the reason I was able to have an opportunity to be a coach and to be a teacher. And that was my means.
Yeah.
I'm from a poor family, and scholarship paved the way for me.
Okay, that's right, because that scholarship was important back then, especially, I mean, even now, if you can get that scholarship. So Cookman, and you played ball. You had some honors when you played. I saw some of them honors there.
Well, I made all conference 1 year.
1 year,
But other than that, just being a starter and the camaraderie of trying to establish our program at Cookman as one of the best in the conference at the time.
At that time, yeah.
And as a team, we did a great job in what we had. You say FAMU. Well, I grew up in Wauchula, and Bartow was a place that was high school FAMU.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. So, as a result of that, we developed that camaraderie and the attacking of each school in a friendly way.
Yeah. They I guess that's a good word, friendly way. Yeah, because they both schools have so much pride for where they are and what they've accomplished. So Cookman was beating us for the last 10 years. This is the second time we beat Cookman. We was getting beat up, but the history is real colorful, and I really appreciate that from my mom's side, really being a part of both sides.
Mm-hmm.
It's because when you leave, when she left, it permeated. But now when you get those honors, coach, you start coaching back at Cookman. Was it how long after you finished did you start back coaching at Cookman with the offensive line?
I started coaching there in 1980.
Oh, okay. So it was a little after you got graduated.
But I finished from Cookman in 68.
68.
Talking about
another 20-something years. Yeah. Before you went back.
Back, right?
Yeah. Because I was trying to get the times as you left, as when you came down, and HML days. Because I was trying to get the times from HML Northwestern.
Well, I coached at Northwestern track in 60. 69.
Okay.
And I started coaching track at the high school in 73.
Okay.
Right. And then after that, I started coaching football there as an assistant offensive line coach.
Okay.
Under Alkin Hilbert.
Okay, so you became a head coach at Northwestern too, but that
right,
was, that was later. Okay.
1975.
All right, 75.
3 years,
all right,
right.
That's right. Because I was trying to, because you coach baseball too. Now that's what really throwed me.
Yeah,
I didn't know
I
that
coached
you coached
baseball at Lakes.
At Lakes, that's what it was.
Right.
Yeah. At Lakes, you coach baseball. So you got real you got, it's colorful, and that's what makes it so interesting when you really honed in and was football completely. Now we'll fast forward because I had a story that I wanted you to verify. Now you know it's a lot of when you were from the West, and I heard that Mr. White asked you to coach a spring game. Is this true so far?
No.
At Carol City?
No. I had just gotten back from Cookman.
Okay.
And he was looking for a coach. He said, I'm having problems, and I need someone to help me. And we worked together at Northwestern. Mr. White, he was assistant principal there, and I was the head coach. So we had just gotten fired at Cookman.
Okay.
And I stopped by American in the recruiting process because I didn't know we had gotten fired.
Oh, okay.
My brother was the head coach there then. So principal there at American was the first game I played as a head coach, played against as a head coach.
Oh.
And we were 3-0 that year. And it got to a point where Mr. White came to me and said, I need you to come and help me. He said, bro, I need you to come and help me. I said, well, I'm through with the coaching thing as a head.
Oh,
because
okay.
My wife has a 2-year-old and one on the way, and she takes care of her mother. So it was a tall task on her part.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I'll just spend time and help you out. She said, you're not going to enjoy that. I know you've been involved in sports all your life.
Uh-huh.
So I told him, no, I'm not going to do it. My wife came to my little room and said, did you read the paper today? I said, no. I thought you said you weren't going to take a head job no more. I said, well, that's what I said. I mean it. She said, well, read today's paper. And it said, Walt Frazier takes the Carol City job.
Ooh, on the front page, yeah.
So he told me, I tell you what, just take me through the spring.
Okay.
And that'll give me a chance to find a coach. So I said, okay, I'll take it for the spring only. And it worked out. And I found out that he said, I think we're on the right track. You got to give me a year now. I said, you started out with it.
He knew what he wanted.
With spring, it was going to end up a year. So it ended up being something that I
26 years later.
26 years.
26
I enjoyed
years.
it. And it was, the athlete made a difference. They worked, and it was a situation where they had played together. Most of them had played together. And we hit the ground running. It's a process to develop a team. It's not something that you instantly do or you flip the switch and it automatically happens. Teams, you're talking about a lot of different thoughts, a lot of minds, a lot of different opinions. So you got to get them together. And they got to understand you and you got to understand them. So as a result of that, we got off to a pretty good start, and it was primarily because a lot of the kids played together in the Optimus programs, and that made a big, big difference.
That system that system was already, you've been working it from the time you started coaching, that you that whole concept, because Carol City was one of the toughest teams to go against. We knew that from the band, that our team was, they was tough. You known for that weight room.
Right. Well, we that was the strength of our program. I mean, that's the strength of football in general. It's for toughness.
Yeah.
And you gotta go through some situations that you're gonna be confronted with in a ball game. And we did the things that I thought was necessary for us to have a chance to be successful. But it takes time. And you're talking about making one team out of 80 players. And everyone has to join the team. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had to commit yourself to that. You had to believe in one another. You had to encourage one another. And you played for one another. That was the general purpose of it. But strength training was the difference. And I believed in competition. Everything we did, we competed. And it was to get to the weight room on time. You got there last, you did extra work.
Yeah.
So most of the time, players would be running to the weight class. And as a result of that, we put up signs that motivated. The game is competition. And everything we did, we competed.
So they always had that mindset.
Yeah, we competed. So when we go to the game, it wasn't anything unusual because we competed every day.
Cornelius Bembury, he said that no game was as hard as practice in his career.
Well, that's why he played so well.
Had been
through the tough part.
Yeah,
so if it wasn't tough, it was something that it wasn't that much of a challenge. They prepared themselves for the game, along with the things that we implemented. I mean,
and that's Dr. Foster. We were under Dr. Foster at FAMU, and some of those same principles. When I hear your former players talk about, that's Dr. Foster always said, to be on time is to be early. To be on time is to be late. Mm-hmm. And you had those same philosophies, and he with time, and with giving everything you got at when you go at something, you give everything. Those things transcend, and I see with all your former players too.
Well, Friday nights is not a shock to us. Every day we practiced was a game atmosphere. We played full speed. We practiced full speed. Everything, we lift weights, competing, everything. We competed.
And that made it different.
On our walls, we had Chief all the way from Papoose, Squaw, all the way around the room was Super Chief. You had to reach a certain strength level in order to reach those different categories. And we got to a point where it became something that was natural to compete.
Second nature.
Yeah, it was natural to compete. Most times when you get in a game atmosphere, you need to be comfortable. You don't need to be tense. You don't need to be fearful. They were totally confident as a result of that competing was every day.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Every day was a game to us in what we did. We didn't do things just to be doing something. It was a principle in mind. We were trying to get somewhere. We were trying to get a mindset. We didn't believe that anyone was going to be able to compete with us because we felt like we were stronger. And that was the confident level that we carried into ball games. That was a daily routine.
So that first championship, Coach, what you remember when we were the years we were there, 88 through 91, we always had real tough teams, and we were runner up in 89, their senior year, Rudy Barber them senior year. But that first championship, what was that like? Now that you that's the first time I saw the Gatorade bath. That was wasn't that in your hometown, Daytona? I mean, around that same area.
Yeah, it was in Daytona.
Yeah.
Well, it was a great feeling to see them realize the results of the work that they had put in.
Yeah, the result.
It was, to me, exciting to see them achieve the goals that they work for. They earned the right to be champion. They worked like that. And as a result of that, my joy came as a result of their joy and the accomplishments that they were able to carry on in their lives beyond that, because work, the results of work, the results of being a team player, and all that came out as a result as men.
Yeah,
the same kind of togetherness that they employed as players, they become fathers, they become employers, and were able to do a great job as a result of the things that they earned and learned through football.
That's kind of where I want to segue into, Coach. I went to New Orleans, but during those years, I had to be on the opposite side of your doing. So I would say you were just honored not too long ago for Carol City. Have some things honored after you.
The dedication
park, little things like that. But I think that you have been impactful to the state of Florida, not just the city of Miami or Carol City. I'm saying the state of Florida and all around. And I know you have students all around the world probably right now doing what they're doing. Do you sit back sometimes and reflect and realize that, like what you just said, NFL didn't happen, but maybe God wanted you in a different place because you were a better impact on these kids' lives and changed a lot of kids' lives right now being in the position you were in? Do you think about that every once in a while when you're sitting home and or I know some of your old students call you up all the time too. So,
well, Father's Day, Christmas, and all those kind of things. I need about 5 or 6 phones.
Yes, sir.
And they want me to remember everything. And I say, well, the only thing that's important to me is that you realize the accomplishments that you gain from working hard, working together. And I feel good not because of those accomplishments. I feel good that these boys came to me in 9th grade, 15, 16 years old, left me as young men, able to make decisions and realize that it's all about doing the right things, because right things bring right results. And that's the approach that we used in everything.
Because you saved a lot of lives.
Yeah.
Well,
I know you can be modest, but look, you saved a lot of lives, Coach.
Well, a lot of these guys and others saved my life.
Yes, sir.
Because I wasn't a great player, but I was around great players, and I learned from my brothers who were pretty good and other players that were pretty good. And to see those things change young boys to make good decisions on the football field, good decisions about preparing, good decisions that led them into good fathers, good husbands,
Yeah.
good employees, and great citizens, and
Great citizens.
contributors to a world that needs that kind of leadership.
Well, God bless you, Coach, because
Yeah.
you've left a mark and a footprint on this, I would say, Earth, planet,
Yeah.
because everyone is
Amen.
in direct effect of your coaching. Even like Frank said, we were in the band, but we still felt the same energy from your effect.
Well, I work directly with football, but Carroll City and every school I worked to was basically the same. It's all about helping young people become what they are capable of being able to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just football. You know, I worked the halls. I worked the guys that were not football players in my classes, and we talked about the things that was necessary for them to have a chance to be successful in life.
Discipline.
And that's basically was why I was in front of them explaining those things to them, because that's the route I took.
I went to night school at Carroll City, so I probably bumped into you a couple of times over there.
If he was in them hallway.
Yeah, I was.
Vic, I want to show Coach some of the pictures, and I want to ask him what do he remember any of these the situations surrounding the pictures. All right, now this picture right here, you know who that number one was?
Ethnic Sands.
Yeah,
J-Boy.
J-Boy. It's a play you call it. I couldn't remember it, but it's something pro something, and I wanted you to kind of, but I couldn't get the sound so I could break it down. But this was this at a state game? This was state.
Well,
I think the way the stands was looking, that's what I had thought. That's why I thought it was in somewhere out of town somewhere. Daytona.
okay. Well, we had several plays, but know the outstanding thing about that picture, it explains J-Boy was a big key to our success. He understood what we were trying to get accomplished. And like I said, most of the quarterbacks that played for me, we had a lot of time together, and I tried to get them to the point. We used the checkoff system.
Yeah.
And I'm not the smartest guy in the world that I could foresee the future, but a lot of plays were not plays that were good coming from, because people prepare for you.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, we talked about the things that he wanted, we wanted done as a result of, if we get this, we do this.
What you see,
the different.
Because that's one of the things you told me when Tyrone Morgan, me and him were really good friends.
Okay.
And he was leaving, and so he said, "Man, you should go on out for quarterback," because we used to play street ball and all that. And I came to your office, and he said, "Sit down there." And I said, "Hey, coach, I want to come on and play some quarterback." But I was a junior, and you say, "Son, you got to come out here in 7th grade." And when I saw some of them documentaries, J-Boy was coming out to, most of those quarterbacks were coming out and spending time with you from 7th grade. They was already working with you for years.
Well, it's a process. Winning is a process. You just, like I said earlier, you just don't flip the switch.
That switch. No, they don't
most of the kids, after we got going, they had been exposed to the program.
Yeah.
By coming to see. My day started at 6. I was at the school at 6:30. I got home 9 o'clock, because I had 7th graders and 8th graders coming to lift weights. Control, but the philosophy of Carroll City football was being established there. We work hard. We're gonna be stronger than anybody else that we play, and we're gonna do the kinds of things that the program asks. This is a team concept, not an individual.
Not an individual. I believe he was the only quarterback that started all 4 years under you. J-Boy.
Not 4.
Because his ninth grade.
He didn't start in 9th grade. He started in 10th grade. And that was the middle of the season.
Oh, okay. Because they came up. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because he played JV.
JV.
Right.
They was really good in JV. Yeah.
Right. But he was
our next picture, yeah. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
He was an exceptional guy and understood what we were trying to get done. Most of the quarterbacks that play for us had an opportunity to, through the skull work and the different
because we was old fashioned
programs. We
ran that ball. We were gonna run that ball. Carol City gonna run that ball.
Well, our philosophy, everyone understood.
Yeah.
But you gotta establish something, but that opens up other things.
Yeah.
We had some good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But
I know that he was one of the better quarterbacks.
Well,
at that from when we Tyrone was a good one more
right.
And Kenny.
But see, the thing about the quarterback position, that's the most dependent guy on the field. When he throws a pass, somebody got to catch it.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't catch it, he doesn't get credit for it.
Yeah.
Somebody got to block for backs to run. So the quarterback is dependent upon he can't throw a pass if people tackling him before he can throw a pass. So they're more dependent. But all of our guys understood what we were trying to establish. And we basically tried to do the things that we were capable of doing, personnel-wise.
Yeah. Because that makes a big difference. What's that next picture over there, Vic? Oh, Mr. White. Who's this on the left-hand side here? Oh, Mr. Gray from Dillard.
Oh,
Mr. Gray.
Otis.
As Otis, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right. I met some of the guys from Dillard, and they was telling me that y'all were good friends. You knew them well? Yeah.
Played against each other in college.
Yeah. What school he was at? Mr.
Allen
Gray.
University.
Allen. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Thanks, Vicky. What's the next one there? You got that. Okay, that's Mr. White there. We know Mr. White. All right, this picture here. Any memories with that one, Coach? That could be.
From the looks of it, it was one I dare not reflect on.
That's a practice picture. Yeah. Because you see that you have that hat, and you and that hat has become iconic as far as Florida sports for sure. And they was talking about that at the dedication about the hat.
Mm-hmm.
It was in tribute to your dad.
Right.
Yeah. From his time, he retired working from the railroad.
Yes.
Okay, so he worked on yeah. What's the next one you got there? All right, that's Coach with Heaven. The one on the left is McCray. Yeah. Brian Williams, A. McCray.
Oh yeah.
That was they were coaching with you, or they were players at that time?
Coaching with us.
Oh, okay. That one got the little shadows in it. Give me the next one.
Yeah, Brian Williams is defensive coordinator for Maryland now.
Yeah. This one was when they was interviewing Coach with that. I just wanted to show that one with that suit on because I ain't hardly seen. I think that's the first time I saw it.
Might be the last time
I saw you. That was the first time I saw you with the suit. So that my attention got on that picture there. So that's why that picture in there. But they was asking you about the state championship team, and they was asking about J-Boy's influence, and that's what on the video. That's off of his highlights from YouTube.
Okay,
and they interviewed you.
Basically, J-Boy did his job as a quarterback.
He did his job,
but it took those other 10
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make a contribution too.
Yeah, 'cause-
And as a result of that, his effectiveness came as a result of the people around him.
yeah.
So
Pancake, them pancake boys was laying them out.
yeah, well, that's the difference.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
difference is when it's a team concept, everybody gets the credit.
That's
when the
right. That's
job
what you
gets
teach them.
done,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, and that keeps out on all of the negative feelings between players. We all got a job.
Right,
We all got a job.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the team concept in everything. Everyone was treated the same. No one got away with anything. No, J-Boy was no different from anybody else. Rudy, all city player, was no different from anyone else, because it was all team concept.
And that's really important to keep that like that. And I remember I talked to you on the phone and I mentioned the term big money. Now I did some research and and I found that nobody that while they played for you called you that. It was the players that after they graduated, the kids heard them calling you that. And that's where it kind of was. Because I was trying to find out, I knew players from all different decades, and they were saying that we never called him that when he was our coach. We respected him too much. Now that's what they were saying. But they heard players that graduated calling you that. Now I heard where it came from because I got some inside. Because you always had them hundreds and them 50s in your pocket. So they started calling you big money. but it was a respect thing. The outpouring of respect that from all of the players that played for you is the same. From 83 to when you retired in 07. The players had that respect for you, and they would not dare. I mean, when we was talking to Rudy, and I showed Rudy the picture of them dumping that water, that Gatorade on you, he said, man, we would have never thought about doing that in 89. So I see where as time went on, you stayed well, look, I'm your coach, y'all the players, but you allowed that type of gratitude or them showing you how much they cared. You allowed that.
Well, people generally don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's one of the things that I think all of our players realize, that wrong was not accepted. Wrong was not accepted. You give me your best.
Yeah.
And we did things that would enhance that situation. You had to be to school on time. You had to do the things that every other player did. No player was treated different. And whether you were a starter or not, you were treated the same.
And to draw that line, that was very important. That said a lot.
That's a T-shirt right there. He just said we should put that on a T-shirt.
It's one of those things where everyone wants to be important, and because he is fortunate enough to be in the game and make a play,
yes, sir,
does not give him the right to come late. Does not give him the right to give a problem in class. See, we're all about changing boys to men.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And leadership, I used to punish him. And then I found out I was punishing myself. The guys I was punishing didn't really want to be there.
Uh-huh.
But the ones that was there every day end up being the ones on the field. And that guy attitude was basically, I don't care. You can't play in an environment where other people are committed and you're saying you don't care. That means you're going to perform like you don't care. Mm-hmm. So those kind of things were eliminated. And I said, we're not going through the punish thing. Either you want to be here or you don't.
And you're going to work hard with it.
You're going to do what everyone else does, that making a contribution.
Now I'm going to say a few names. and you don't have to say the first thing come to your mind, but you could just what this person may have meant to you in your career. Coach Barrick.
Coach Barrick was a guy that you needed for JVs because his tolerance was that don't hurt you, boy. But you're dealing with young kids.
Yeah.
And he dealt with our JV program supported.
Because I remember when
brought some great players to us in the varsity.
Yeah.
But it was initially started through his leadership, and he was in charge of it.
And my understanding, he was a trusted team. I mean, you and him, y'all worked very well together over those years.
Well, yeah we did.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I had to many times kind of lead him in the right direction because, Coach Barrick believed in that toughness attitude.
Oh, he was tough.
He was tough.
Okay. Don Bailey.
Don Bailey?
Yeah.
Don Bailey, I coached at Lakes.
At Lakes, yeah.
Yeah. And we ended up being pretty good friends. He tried to cause me to lose my marriage. He called me from Indiana when he was playing with the Colts. And he said, Coach, I made a bad snap. You got to come up here and help me. I said, man, I can talk to you over the phone. You think my wife going to accept the fact that I'm coming to Baltimore, teach you about snapping? She going to want to know what else is going to be going on. So I said, but he was a good player.
Good Don Bailey.
Overachiever at that particular time because he was thin, about 190 pounds.
And he's one of the few also along with Barnwell that were players and y'all became friends later on like that.
Right.
Yeah, he's one of those with Barnwell. And all right, of course, Coach Barber, his senior.
Well, Coach Barber and I go way back.
Way back.
I saw him play, and I was a little boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played against the school my brother went to. He knocked one quarterback out. Ambulance came to pick him up and started out. They stopped him and said, got one more, come back and get the other one.
Oh, he knocked another one out.
Yeah, he wrecked him.
Oh.
And he played with that kind of intensity. Well, I played against him in baseball. I was younger then.
Mm-hmm.
And he tried to run over me then. But he played with high intensity at all time, practice, games. One of the games he played in, it was so hot. He had fever blisters that pop up on his mouth.
Mm-hmm. Didn't care.
Would not let them keep him out of the game.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, Vernon Wilder, Sr.
Well, that was my connection in the community because he had been there so long. Outstanding coach on the wild side, but I guess all of us were at a certain point.
At one point, yeah.
But outstanding football minded on either side of the ball, defensively or offensively.
From what I understand, his son now is going to be at Carol City, or is there now? The third, I believe.
Yes, he's there now. But they're in the process of reevaluating situations. But
okay.
I think having a new principal, everyone is go through the new administration.
Since you named the new principal, I throw another name at you, Larry Little.
Teammate of mine. One of the things that made Larry Little football player. Larry Little had a lot of pride, and he didn't believe anyone could do anything better than him at things he could do.
And
And he was the kind of player that you could always depend on. Initially, most people thought he was lazy, but he wasn't. He wasn't. He played hard, and he played. They tried to make him, when he went to San Diego, his rookie year, they tried to make him a tight end because he was so talented. Tried to make him a fullback because he was so talented. But one thing he said, he didn't want to be tackled.
he didn't want to be tackled.
People jumping all on him. But he was an outstanding person and a player.
Now, when you retired, were you really ready to go now? Then, at that point, it was time to go?
Well, I could have coached longer, but sometimes you have to get out of the way. Young people are ready, and it just, I had accomplished basically what players had given me basically the kind of things that I had enjoyed, not because of championships, but because of champion men.
Champion men.
And as a result of that, it's like a baby with teeth. One is there, but that's not the permanent set. Sometimes it's time for you to move out of the way.
Yeah.
So that the young people can come through and get it, take over. Because like today, I look at today's game, I don't make no opinion about it at all now. Because the game has changed so much. See, we were about developing players. Now, the greatest asset, I think, to most successful programs now is the ability to recruit kids to come to your school. Plus, the state has changed the rules, which gives them an opportunity to go anywhere they want to. So, as a result of that, you go
high school football with the NIL and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard. I think it's, well, I'm prejudiced probably. I think it's going to have an effect on football in general because each community is not going to have the same enthusiasm because the hand of time comes around to you eventually. Because my first 3 years at Carol City were not great years. But as I said earlier, it's a process. I had to learn something about them, and they had to learn something about me. Very few programs on any level start out unless it was an experienced group, very successful. It takes time for people to find out what system we're going to be in and how they're going to handle it. How it's going to be to their advantage,
Because the system, the system, that's what's the most effective. Bill Belichick, whatever they got, those systems were so effective. And what we had at Carol City, what Central had that system in place year round, that the kids were able to be plugged in and learn, like you were saying, turning them into, building them up. But that's why people believe that those coaches, that's why I always see you deflect, because the coach, you say champion men is what made you so successful.
Right.
Being able to have the athletes that you had and follow your program and your leadership. Because if you had a bunch of knuckleheads, nobody wanted to listen, you know what how that was going to end up.
You probably have some knuckleheads. It's just that
it's
a good teacher. A good teacher is a good teacher.
Well, it's just a situation where kids get themselves locked into a situation that's conducive for them. And as a result of that, it becomes very successful for their situation.
Now you don't know what I got in this box, but you about to find out.
And before he says that, I'm going to say, you know, we've done the podcast and we'll get crazy on this thing and everything. But I'll tell you what, this podcast right here is more about the honor and respecting your legacy here in South Florida and just all over, because we were up at a funeral in mid-Florida and we mentioned your name and then all those guys up there and
What's that, Avon Park?
Avon Park area.
They all knew.
They all knew right away. Those guys.
Oh, you talking about Carol City boy? Yeah.
Yeah, so they knew right away. So, you know, it's an honor because we Rob and Frank and I, we talked about this I think we talked about this before we even started this podcast of having you on here. And so I just want to say thank you for, you know.
And I talked to
us.
you and set it up before the classic. Me and you talked a little bit because you don't want to know the guys that drive truck with me is Keston.
Yeah. Me
and him was sharing the same trailer, hauling fuel.
Okay.
And he always told me that. When he told me that, I said, "Nah, man, you ain't no good friend with Coach Frazier." And he told me that he was over there. And that's how we talked. Yeah. But this is something that I wanted to present to you, and I don't. You probably ain't expect it, but this is a service award. We want to present to you a service award, which is named after my mother. It's called the Moretta Wesley Service Award, presented to Coach Frazier for your tireless years of dedication and commitment to building young men to lead our community.
Wow.
This is my mom taught 36 years at Charles R. Drew.
Okay.
Miss Wesley.
Okay.
And she's going on now, but our organization named this award after her, and we want to present that to you as the first one that we present on as outside of our organization. You're the first member first person to receive this award, and it's our honor to give you that, Coach.
Yeah, we can clap. Everybody clap.
Well, you know, I'd like to thank you and the organization for this award, but I feel kind of guilty because I'm standing on the shoulders of all the men that played for me.
Yeah.
And they are I'm where I am because of them. It's like the iceberg. You know, you put me up and turn the spotlight on me, but underneath the water, I'm standing on their shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm standing on their performances. I'm standing on their commitment to the kinds of things that we, not I, great staff. And had 6 head coaches staff at one time or another.
Uh-huh.
And I had outstanding coaches. We probably had about 30 coaches in the 26 years, and they all went on to do well in other schools.
Yeah.
And I'm accepting this for all of them.
Thank you, Coach.
Because a piece of this belongs to them all.
Thank you.
Because you know that, Coach, that's why they honor you.
Because you know, they say the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that just shows that it's true. Yeah. The Chief Hall Podcast. We were sitting here with Coach Frazier, the legendary Coach Walt Frazier.
Thank you.
And we thank y'all for listening and checking us out. And we'll see you next time on Chief Hall Podcast. We out.